Hello everyone and welcome to the Woodland Wisp. Today I will be making some dragon wing earrings. So these are super pretty and I will let you have a closer look. I did 2 different styles and 3 designs in some beautiful colors, and I will be making these from scratch today, so you won't need any kind of fancy cutters or special tools. I am making these 2 pairs today, so let's talk about what I am using and then we'll get right into it. For clay today, I am using some Sculpey Souffle in black, and then you will also need a pencil, a small piece of cardboard or cardstock, and a sharp razor knife to design and cut out your template. And then I will be using this poking tool, and this is a double-ended tool, but you could use a tapestry needle or even a straight pen. I've got a small paintbrush here, and this tool I am just using for a roller. So I've got a pair of earring hooks and some jump rings to attach my wings with. And then for decoration on these, I've got some tiny gears, and these are actually made for nail art. And then I've got some rhinestones, black rhinestones, and both of these are totally optional. You don't have to use them, but I will leave links in the description below because they're not expensive and I bought them on Amazon. And then for color on these, I've got 6 different mica powders here. So I've got 2 different shades of blue. I've got some pink and purple. This is rose red, but it's very pink. And then I've also got some gold and bronze here. And you can always use different colored clays or paint these when you're done if you don't have mica powders. Now you will have to freehand your own template, and I am going to show you the easiest way I can think of to do this. So I am making a backwards C shape. And then I am going to mark a point just out off that bottom line. And then I want to curve this downwards and all the way out to that point. And this is going to be the top part of that wing. And now we're going to make the lines. So if you imagine that C as kind of half of a sun, I am just adding 4 lines here and then extending them outwards, and I'm going to try to keep them as straight and evenly spaced as I can. And keeping this bottom one here evenly spaced with that top wing part as well. And then the first one, I am just going to connect here from this point, and then just like a spider web, I am just going to add the rest of these curves on here. And I'm bringing this one, trying to keep it even with this point here. And there it is. And you can go through and perfect your wing shape and then erase the extra lines when you're done. And this is just a reference for how to make the template. The one that I am using today is a little bit smaller, and these are really easy to scale. So I think that mine is a good size for dangle earrings, but if you wanted to make them larger, you certainly could. You can even scale them down in order to pair them with, beads or something else. This is the one that I'm using today, and this one is done in plastic. So I started with a piece of black cardstock paper because that's what I always use. And the Sculpey Souffle was really sticking to it. I don't know why it's so much more sticky, but I was having issues. So I just got one of those cheap plastic folders and cut my template out of that. So this is going to last much longer and it doesn't stick nearly as bad. So once you've got your template cut, you can go ahead and roll that black into a nice thin sheet. And I am just going to lay that template down on top of it and then cut it out with my razor knife. And you want opposite wings. So I'm going to cut this out and then I'm going to peel it off and flip it over to cut out my other one. So here are my wing cutouts for both pairs, and I have transferred each of them to a small piece of cardboard. This is going to make them easy to get to from all sides, easy to move around, and we can even place it right into the oven when we're done. And now I've got my poking tool, and you can use a tapestry needle or a straight pin, and I am just marking in those lines that we had on our template. Here they are, and I did cut them a little deep so that they can be seen. And the lines on the other pair we're going to do a little bit differently. So I have got some ropes here. I've got this larger one, and then I've got a really skinny one here. And I am going to point the ends of these, and the larger one I am using for both pairs, and this little skinny one is what I'm going to use for the lines on this other pair. So I am just going to point the ends, and I'm going to start down here at the bottoms, and I'm going to cut those around that circular area. Here they are, and you can see that I did keep all of my cuts right here in this center part because they are going to be covered up with this longer rope. So the longer rope, I am going to start by cutting it in half, and then I am going to point the end and roll this out just a little bit skinnier. Here it is, and now I am going to take the pointed end here, and again, I am starting at the bottom tip of the wing. So I am just going to place this right here on this bottom point, and I'm going to stick that, and then I am just going to run this all the way up and around that curve, keeping it as close to that edge as I can. So once I've made it back around, I am just going to cut this end, and I'm probably going to end up cutting it again. I am going to point that a little bit and curl it right back into that, that lower cut line in the wing. This is what it looks like, and I will turn it here so you can see where I put in my loop, and this is nice and flush with that cutout. Here is the other one, and I am just going to repeat that same process with this pair, running that right over those other lines that we did. Here they are, and these are ready for color and decoration. Now, if you used colored clay for these, then they probably look pretty well finished, but I am going to go ahead and add some mica powders, and I am starting with these ones that have the indentations on them, and I am using bronze and gold for this curly part here on the edge, and then the wings themselves, I will be doing in these two different blues. So I am going to start with this lighter silk blue, and I am just going to do the entire under part of this wing here. Here it is, and now I've got this darker cobalt blue, and I am going to be using that just down here on the tips of these curves, kind of blending up just a little bit into the other color. Just like this, and then I'm going to take just a tiny bit more of that darker blue and run it along the inside of this upper piece. And now I've got my gold, and again, I am just going to do this whole curly piece here on the edge. And then I am going to highlight just the curves and the tips with that bronze. This is what it looks like, and I am going to do the other one exactly the same way. Here they are, again, very pretty. I think the colors complement each other well, and these are ready for decoration. Now again, I am using these tiny silver gears, but I don't want to add them until after these are baked because I'm going to need to glue them down. So we are going to decorate the other pair first. Those ones I'm decorating with these stones here, and I am using the smallest ones that I have, and I'm just going to place them randomly in those spaces. So this is what they look like, and I just set them on there and then kind of pressed them in with the tip of my poking tool so that they're embedded. And I do have a few spots here that I'm going to need to clean up before I add my color. And I am going to be painting these just like the other ones, except I am using rose red and violet on the wings themselves. And then I'm going to use this cobalt blue for that curly part and those raised lines. So here is the wing, and again, I used that rose red and added that purple just on the tips of these curves. And now I'm going to take that cobalt blue and just do the rest of this line work. Here they are, and I am super happy with these colors. I love the gemstones, and I think that they look really well together. So both of these pairs are now ready to go in the oven. And I am going to bake them at 275 for right about an hour. Here are both pairs, and once these are baked and cooled, you will want to seal them with Mod Podge, resin, or varnish to protect those mica powders, but they do look very clean on the back sides and on the edges as well. This pair, I glued those gears down with a little bit of Gorilla Glue applied with a toothpick. And again, if you guys don't have rhinestones and things like that to decorate these with, they do look great. Just with the color, but there are several other things that you can do with them. I've got this pair that I just used my poking tool to add some dotted lines on the edges of these and then on this curly part. And then I've added some little flathead screws there in those wings. So you can certainly design these however you want. That is it for today, guys. If you enjoyed making these, please visit my channel and also check out my Galaxy butterfly earrings. They're made basically the same way, and they are very pretty as well. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.